And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem in the Crypto, episode 960. Today is Wednesday, June 1st, 2022, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
At 10-ish, today's top stories: Dogecoin's parents are fighting. Musk and Jackson Palmer exchange barbs. Computer scientists and academics pursue efforts to stop crypto lobbying in U.S. KuCoin plugs into Web3 with new decentralized wallet, and Binance to launch Africa crypto awareness tool as adoption ramps up. But first and foremost, what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So taking a look at our prices for today, Bitcoin sitting at $31,733, up 1%. Ethereum at $1,955 is up almost 1%. Binance coin at $317, up almost 1% as well. Cardano, after a big push yesterday at 60 cents, is down 1.5%. XRP at 41 cents, up 2.4%. Solana at $45, up 0.65%. And last but not least, Dogecoin at 8 cents is up 3.8%. And our biggest gainers today, Burn to Earn, 472%. TNC coin up 411%, and Beagle Inu up 204%. The hits keep coming with Inu, but I do want people to notice something about this burn to earn. When people talk about what's the next trend, we have learn to earn, play to earn, burn to earn, and I just saw right before we got on something called grow to earn. So I think that's going to be the next wave of things is blank to earn, and that's going to be a whole nother industry coming. So look out for those, definitely.
Yeah, I can see that different ways to earn crypto for people who feel like they're late to the party, possibly. I can see that being a thing. And as you said, the learn to or the burn to earn, shout out to some of our warriors. There's actually, I know off the top of my head, 2 different warriors who I've had like basically complimentary quick consults with who want to do essentially something with burn to earn. So it's coming, people. People are working on it, but as I told them, an ideal is only an ideal until execution. So hopefully they're working on it to be the first ones through the door with that. What is going on, Chemo Crypto, Chappie, Alapio, Milto, Satoshi Slim, Wyatt Triad, Solomon, Jonathan, JJ, what's going on? Jams, T Breezy, Level 99 Slacker, BK Born, Best IRAs, Alpha Predator, Credit K, Captain G. Good morning, everyone. Make sure we smash that like and share to get the show started, of course, and we'll get this rolling. Les Squares in New Jersey in the house. I'm looking back at the interview with Cliff High. Take notes of some of his prediction, Warriors. All right, there we go. F to earn that already exists. That's hilarious. Shout out to Zulu. With that, let's start the show. Dogecoin parents are fighting. Musk and Jackson Palmer exchange barbs, as you can see here.
Fight!
Oh, man. I mean, I gotta say, I think we kind of already saw this coming. Essentially, this is old crypto versus new crypto to me. This is the narrative I'm running with right here. This is the old school, real crypto folks who are kind of interested in the technology and the coolness factor of just being able to do transactions without a third party over you. And then you have new crypto, which is essentially money hungry. We want more money, everything to $1. Pamp it. That's right. The world's richest man and the co-founder of Dogecoin are sparring over whether the latter actually has a Python script that could put a huge dent in Twitter bot activity. It looks like billionaire Elon Musk and Dogecoin co-founder Jackson Palmer are locked in a battle on social media over Palmer's claim that he can remove Twitter bots with a simple Python script. Australian Palmer said in an interview that his script is capable of automatically tweeting replies to scam tweets as a way of indicating that users should be aware of the danger. He told news outlet Cricky on Monday that Musk had reached out to get the script, but claimed the billionaire's technical knowledge was so deficient that he didn't know how to run it. Quote, Elon reached out to me to get a hold of that script, and it became apparent very quickly that he didn't understand coding as well as he made out. And the kind of background of this is also kind of being piggyback on the story of essentially Dogecoin co-founder Jackson Palmer also coming out and saying that, hey, Dogecoin isn't operating the way it was supposed to operate. It isn't what he envisioned it being. He looked at it as a fun way to play with crypto, and he thought it had been hijacked. And I saw a lot of people actually come out on Twitter and other spaces and say he's just upset because he created and didn't become wealthy on it while others made more money on it, essentially. And that could be one way to shape the argument. That's always the argument in the space. The nonstop argument in the space is, oh, it's not about the technology. You didn't make no money on it. And it's just like, yep, that is what the other side is pissed off about. But what are your thoughts on this script, on the revelation that Elon might not be as good as a coder as people thought, which, I mean, clearly you should know he's saying Dogecoin to $1. And then your thoughts in general on Jackson Palmer's new opinions on Dogecoin and the direction it's headed. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so this reads a lot like Dogecoin's birth father, Jackson Palmer, walked out on Dogecoin early on, and then the rich stepfather came later, and everybody loves him because he's rich. But in reality, he's not exactly what you hope for. Just like Palmer stated here, he called him a grifter who sells a vision in hopes that he can one day deliver what he's promising, but he doesn't know that. And Jackson Palmer, again, he created Dogecoin, he stepped away from it, but he is a very talented coder. And he, again, if Elon Musk is saying that he's a developer or that he can do some of the same stuff, this must have threw off red flags in his head. Like, this is a simple Python script. You can't even run it. And he also said, my kids wrote better code when they were 12, when Musk shot back at Palmer. He also stated, you falsely claim your lame snippet of Python gets rid of bots. Okay, buddy, then share it with the world. It seems like that's a tactic for him to get the script.
Yeah, that's a tactic to get a free script. Yeah. Ain't nobody going for that.
Yeah, that's what everybody say. Oh, you got it? Well, then show it to me. And then, and then you get a free script. Yeah, but honestly, this was funny going back and forth because Jackson Palmer doesn't really argue with anyone. And it's just crazy seeing the world's richest man arguing on Twitter. So, of course, this lit up Twitter as well. And people have talked about that for years, how to get rid of the bots. And when it came out that at least 5% of the platform's users are bots. They say less than, but people are saying that number could be higher. Then Musk was like, all right, I got to clean that up before we buy it. So, of course, this is how it is. But yeah, Stepdaddy is trying to fix it. And the real daddy is like, leave my baby alone. Right. Yeah, exactly. So again, doesn't really have anything to do with Dogecoin, but it's more about Jackson Palmer versus Elon Musk. And funny to see on Twitter.
Well, what's crazy is that I'm actually anecdotal, but I'm going to believe Jackson Palmer a bit here for a couple of reasons. For one, whenever developers call out people for coding, they're serious about that shit. It's like it's like one of these dudes who, it's like if you can't pick up a girl in front of some dude, like that's the thing. Like he's gonna call that like, bro, you ain't got no hoes. Oh, you ain't trying to hear what you got to say. Like it's one if you can't shoot a basketball, you supposed to be an analyst. Like if you can't do something in front of a professional usually calls you out. So for him to call him out on it, two things. One, Elon's been called out recently, not necessarily a grifter, but about what he's promising by other people as well. I just saw an article the other day come out on news, essentially saying that while all these projects of Elon Musk are super grand and X, Y, and Z, like when is the completion date? Will he be alive when this completion date happens? Will he be dead? Like what is completion date? It does look promising, but we're actually looking at the execution. So Palmer isn't the only person to call him out on that, but to specifically call him out on coding and then from him to respond to it might have cut deep. That one might have hurt a little bit. And again, I agree. I think he's just trying to get some free game as far as telling him, hey, if your code's that good, and then make it make it free or show the whole world. Well, honestly, I kind of agree with Jackson on this. If Elon could code that well, why would you need the code from Jackson?
Yeah.
You're going to Mars. You got an underground super speed tunnel from New York to LA. You got flamethrowers and all these projects. He actually has a good point here. If you are that good of a coder, and we're talking about a script for Twitter bots, why do you even need Jackson? Like just the idea that he did it as another coder, you should be like, well, if he did it, then technically there's a way to do it. I should be able to reverse engineer and do this myself as well, at least to some degree, if not to make it perfect, but just to have some type of product. So for him to be like, well, I don't got nothing, just send me what you got. It's like, well, you are at that level that he say you're supposed to be at, then he should be able to say an ideal of a script for Twitter bots, and you should be able to go in the lab and create something that's at least a rough draft version of that. So that one is actually kind of like, that showed me the most when he called him out on that, and the fact that Elon responded to that actual claim. And, my kids wrote better code when they were 12. Like, come on, man. You hijacked the man's project. Don't all of a sudden say my kids write better code than you when you are literally the face of his project that he created. So I think he might have got him with that zinger a little bit.
He's the face of Tesla. He didn't create that either. This is what he's good at. He finds really smart people, takes their ideas, runs with it. He's a visionary. He builds for the future in his mind, but not necessarily in real life, as far as building the code itself. He doesn't have to. If I'm the richest man in the world, I'm not coding shit. I'm getting the best developers in the world. I'm like, all right, we need to make a script better than Jackson's, and then moving on.
Yeah, and to go along with that, this other article is coming out where Elon Musk, you see it here too, of course, he called him a tool. And again, for Elon to be at that level and all of a sudden to be stooping down, hey, you a tool, man. My kid write better code. I think he might have heard him a little bit with that zinger right there. Like, man, that dude a grifter. He ain't no real coder out here in these streets. People, we talk about on this channel all the time as far as how important it is to learn basic coding at least. So when you do look at these projects, you can actually go to the GitLabs or GitHubs or whatever, and you can look at the code. You can look at the comments in the code. You can look at it, see when things been updated, what exactly they did update, so on and so forth. So it is a big deal if someone like Elon can't code because, or isn't that great? Because it's like, yo, it's almost like people write up a speech for you. You have speech writers, but you can't read, right? Or you can't speak properly. It's like, well, damn. Like, why are we over here writing up the speech for you? So it's kind of the same thing. It's like all this tech is going through Elon Musk's desk, going across his desk and all this stuff. And you mean to tell me he might not be able to read what's happening on the back end? That's a big deal, folks. That is a big deal right there in the developer space. So hopefully that's not true. But Jackson said what he said for sure, for sure. Really quick, I wanted to just throw up this article too. This is the second article kind of floating around with Jackson Palmer the last couple of days. This actually was one I thought we were covering initially. Why does Dogecoin creator Jackson Palmer wish it were the end of crypto? These were the talking points I saw recently as of a couple of days ago. But he said he wishes that it was the end of crypto and that people are doing nothing but making money off doing nothing. And this is for his new podcast, Griftonomics, where he's actually going to be calling out a lot of grifters, it looks like. He referred to the crypto industry as a get-rich-quick funnel designed to extract new money from the financially desperate and naive. Yeah, and I mean, again, he likened the industry to a Ponzi scheme. Essentially, people pumping funds into assets they don't fully understand. Quote, I see heaps of money being funneled in by crypto promoters. They're waiting for a fresh batch of fools to come in. This happens in cycles. After years of studying it, I believe that cryptocurrency is an inherently right-wing, hyper-capitalistic technology built primarily to amplify the wealth of its proponents through a combination of tax avoidance, diminished regulatory oversight, and artificially enforced scarcity, he added. Now, the few things I would say to this is specifically he is saying crypto. He's not saying Bitcoin. So when it comes to crypto, I agree. It has turned into a get-rich-quick thing. I won't even say it's turned into that. It's been like that since the beginning, to be honest. And yes, some things are Ponzi-like, but I mean, whether he meant to or intended to or not, he did have a hand in helping build that type of infrastructure. When you talk about Dogecoin, essentially, even though it was being used for fun, it did allow for someone to hijack it, which we saw, and people go after it as a get-rich-quick scheme. But by and large, as we always tell people, you should only be using discretionary income anyway, right? Until the networks are mature, until you do start seeing Bitcoin being backed as a reserve everywhere. This is supposed to be discretionary income anyway. So if people are in this market that are financially desperate and naive, that's their fault. That is the tuition they have to pay, unfortunately. And I don't feel bad for those people on that side of the fence. I'm just like, you want to come to Vegas? You know what Vegas is. Good luck. And those are my thoughts on that one. You got anything last for that topic, Bitcoin, Zay?
You hit the nail on the head. He didn't say Bitcoin. He was talking about crypto. And again, for most part, he was correct. And honestly, it takes some people having to get slapped around and lose a lot of money to understand that. Hopefully on our channel, you understand, like you said, discretionary income, you should be good. Anything else, you're mostly gambling. It's speculation. You're at the casino, you're buying lotto tickets. It's pretty much the same thing. So why not crypto? But for the most part, Bitcoin is money, and he's not talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah, here he is again. Revealed in an interview that a few years ago he had a funny experience with Musk and shared that the tech billionaire did not understand coding as well as he made out. Again, this is one of those things where I don't know if it wasn't true. Like that's people you don't understand in coding. That's an assumption to come to. That's an assertion to make if it isn't true. If Elon actually can code, and this guy out the blue was like, man, he ain't even that good with coder. Like that's cold-blooded right there. That's one of them things where it's just like, come on, man. But if it is true, woo, y'all savior, y'all hero. He might just be good with money.
Dr. Crypto said there's a YouTube channel called Common Sense Skeptic that poke holes in everything Musk does. It's starting to look like whole boy is a grifter. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out because I've heard different things over the years. Some I've found out myself, but again, you start off with a good amount or a good idea, take that money, and then just take all everybody else's good ideas and invest in it or take it over.
Well, I will say this also when it comes to coding, people. Literally, so I haven't coded in forever. I used to have my notes, they like code every day, basically like on certain days, get some coding in, make sure it stay fresh, whatever. And I had in one of my old notes, and I was looking at it the other day. I'm just like, whoo, like I need to do a refresher really quick, right? You know, you gotta. So my point is, for someone at Elon's level and something, especially how public he is, people like coding is kind of perishable. If you're not doing it for a while, I mean, it's literally speaking a different language. So it's like if you haven't spoke Spanish in 3 or 4 years, it will be rusty and you won't be that great. So again, it goes to the point of it doesn't look like he's sitting still. He's always on the go. He's starting new projects. When is he actually in the lab coding? And if so, what? So I kind of see where Jackson's coming from. I mean, even if Elon was like some master coder years ago or developer, when was the last time he's been in the lab? So something to pay attention to for sure. It is a perishable skill. Young Ears said Google, as of March 2022, there are 18,465 currencies in existence. Goodness gracious, Isaiah, I remember when there were literally less than 100.
Yeah.
And then there was like 1,000, but it's still less than 1,000. And then parabolic hit. That's kind of crazy. Over 18,465. And I can guarantee by the end of this show, it's probably going to be 466 people. That's crazy.
Coin market cap, it says 19,685. And that's the ones that they know about that's listed. So
yeah. The recycling guy said how LMAO, look how many people took the Dogecoin bait, mad people wrecked. What's kind of crazy to me is that Elon isn't getting called out, and Mark Cuban. They aren't getting called out for Dogecoin to $1 and it got wrecked. That's what's kind of interesting to me. So we'll see what happens. Someone said Elon Musk has home field advantage. Not necessarily. As Jackson Palmer sounds American as it comes. Where's he from?
Yeah, Jackson Palmer. I'm not sure. Is he from Australia or is he from here?
Oh, is he from Australia? Or is he from Australia?
I don't be looking up niggas' bios, man. I don't know.
That sounds like a good American name. I don't know.
Jackson Palmer. I would say it does sound like a nice, refreshing drink. What's that drink where you mix lemonade and iced tea? That's Arnold Palmer. Yeah,
there we go.
Jackson Palmer is you mix in soy milk and some iced tea.
Milton said Elon doesn't need to code. He can hire a team of the best coders in the world or other planets. Yes and no. He doesn't, but also if you don't, then you can't be out here claiming it. That's what Jackson's essentially saying. He's like, yeah, if you don't code, then don't you can't be out here acting like, oh, you know, I'm the master developer out here, and you don't understand the basics of scripts and coding as well. So I think that's where he may be more perturbed at there as well. Let's see. How can you verify the work? You have to take the word of someone else. Yeah, if you don't know how to read it, then for sure you definitely have to take the word of someone else. All right, speaking of coding and all that good stuff, computer scientists and academics pursue efforts to stop crypto lobbying in the U.S. Harvard lecturer Bruce Schneier said in a report that blockchain is not secure and not really decentralized. Of course, they always fail to mention which blockchains they're talking about. Bitcoin's what's going on with this computer scientist and his intellectual thought process on blockchains in general.
Yeah, so Bruce Schneier, lecturer at Harvard, reportedly said that blockchain advocates' claims are not true. He added that the technology is not secure and not really decentralized. According to him, These systems where you can lose your life savings when you forget a password is not a safe system. Along with other computer scientists and academics, Schneider signed a letter criticizing crypto and blockchain and sent it to U.S. lawmakers in Washington. Software developer Stephen Deal supports the idea and also signed the letter. Deal noted that the letter is an effort for counter lobbying since crypto supporters only say what they want to the politicians. And let me pause here for a second because Stephen Deal actually sounds familiar. I believe he has me blocked on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's this guy. He literally all he does is tweet about how bad Bitcoin is. I think if we're talking about the same guy, if I'm blocked, I can't see him anyway. But of course, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm blocked. He blocks everybody. Yep, this is him right here. Let me pull his picture.
What'd you say?
He just blocks anybody Bitcoin. Like I just follow him and I know it's blocked. He just doesn't want to. So it's an echo chamber. This is, if you see this face, this is Stephen Deal. He wants his echo chamber. He has the most hilariously bad takes on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency I've ever heard in my life. And the funny part is,
he's a grown man with a red hair and a ponytail. So
tell me about it. That's what I said. What I tell you before. We don't trust niggas with ponytails. I already told you that before. This is 2018. We've been saying that. We don't trust ponytails around here, especially people like him who can make it hard for others. But I actually get their sentiment for saying anti-crypto because there are a lot of scams and things of that nature. But I don't understand why they didn't mention Bitcoin. They still haven't mentioned Bitcoin at any point. So if they're talking about the whole industry, they haven't mentioned it. And of course, the letter itself says that cryptocurrencies are risky, flawed, unproven digital financial instruments. Hey, we tell y'all that every day. We say that every time we get on. So it's not like this is something new. And they're actually trying to block any pro-crypto lobbying. So basically, they don't want it to progress at any point, which, again, this is the fight people wanted. This is what you're going to get. So there you go.
Well, also, here's the thing. And again, this is where it keeps getting conflated with, like, this is the easiest way to tell people actually don't know what they're talking about. When they conflate price and value, people, when they're talking about their money-hungry ideals, and they can't even hide anymore, right? And this is that. You're talking about blockchain technology is not secure and not really decentralized. And these systems, you can lose your life savings. Where does being secure and decentralized have to do with money? Like at all? He said blockchain technology, right? Like this, let me make sure I'm okay. Yep. All right. The report that blockchain is not secure and not really decentralized. What does a blockchain, which is a database, people? And he's right. Most blockchains aren't that secure or decentralized, which is why we say don't use them, which is why we're very specific about blockchains. When we say Bitcoin blockchain, we are very specific about the Bitcoin network. We're not saying every blockchain out there. We're not in Congress being asked about the environmental impact on Bitcoin blockchain and then responding with how good the Stellar blockchain is, as that one lady did for Stellar team. Shout out to her. Way to just ignore the question and pump your product in Congress. Like, I'm not even mad at you. I would have given you
bags. Pump your bags on the hill. Might as well.
You might as well. So that's the crazy thing. This guy is literally talking about blockchain, which is a technology. And he is also correct. Blockchain as a technology is just a database. A regular database is not regularly or normally decentralized. And most of them aren't secure because they all have a central point of failure, which is why a distributed, decentralized blockchain is better, like Bitcoins. So whenever you hear blockchain, they're talking shit. Which blockchain? So this guy said it's not secure, it's not decentralized, and these are systems that can lose your money. You just told on yourself. As soon as you said, according to Schneider, systems where you can lose your life savings, you told on yourself. So you don't really care about blockchain technology being secure or decentralized. You care about it making money. So you are in the wrong. And this is a Harvard professor, people. Like, this is a Harvard freaking professor. And they're in the wrong. So again, yes, when you're talking about XYZ crypto blockchain, more than likely is very centralized. And it is not secure at all because there is a single point of failure. When you are talking about Bitcoin's blockchain, where there are millions of nodes across the world now, where it truly is decentralized, where you can take over 49, 50, really technically 50% of the network, and the network still won't be in control of you. And even if you were to take over 51% in 10 minutes, everyone will recognize it and not go on the chain you're using. So there's so many things that make Bitcoin actually decentralized, that makes it a secure technology, which is why they don't want to say Bitcoin blockchain. They just say blockchain, just like databases, whatever. We're just going to just throw it out there. So it's crazy. He put his foot in his mouth and he already showed you all. He's really just thinking about the money. And yeah, Harvard, bad look on you all. Bad look. Hey, you know what? Boo this man.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Hey.
Let's keep the hate going. Jackson Palmer was talking about how crypto is terrible. The computer scientists at Harvard is talking about it's terrible. Let's keep the hate train going. Hey, all week. Let's do it.
There it is. The one thing I will say, okay, I do agree with a couple of people. A couple of folks essentially said, so yeah, Ocean said lying about coding to some is damn near stolen valor. Thank you. That was the point I was trying to make. That's a perfect way to describe it. But I agree with a couple of people. Massa, you made a good point. Massa said just because you can code one language doesn't mean you are good at another. Perfect. I agree, because C++ and Python, I don't know. So you're right. If somebody were to put that in front of me, I probably would start to pause a little bit and be like, let me go to Google. So I can get that. I'm with that as well. Maybe he codes different languages and he's not coding some of those as well. So I'm with that also. That could be true, where he just doesn't know the language he was using. All right, that's fair. That's a fair one right there. There we go. That's a good argument. KuCoin plugs into Web3 with new decentralized wallet. What's going on with KuCoin?
Oh, yeah. So KuCoin, which is an exchange a few people use and not much, but they are entering the Web3 world with a new decentralized wallet platform featuring cross-blockchain trading, DeFi, and NFT functionality. And we discussed last week how every platform is going to have some sort of NFT functionality available. Just because you can't have a decentralized wallet and not include NFTs, you're leaving money on the table. So KuCoin wallet is now live for users with browser-based platform, paving the way for a mobile application, which is still in development. They're still developing that. Wow. The platform plugs into the KuCoin ecosystem. Again, features cross-blockchain integration. You'll be able to buy and sell cryptos such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether, in addition to other tokens. This wallet is self-custodial, giving users full control and responsibility over their private keys, which is good to know. And they have their proprietary NFT marketplace. Winvein powers this functionality at launch, allowing users to trade and view NFTs in that wallet. And Winvein unveiled a $100 million creators fund in April 2022 to support and encourage early stage NFT projects to build on the platform. So I'm sure Crypto Bay J, they'll discuss that a lot more in depth as far as new NFT tools. But every single platform will have this. They don't have a choice. We saw Coinbase do it. We've seen Robinhood do it. We've seen, I mean, pretty much anybody with a wallet, you better have an NFT exchange on it or you're leaving money on the table. So shout out to KuCoin. They're moving forward.
I mean, shout out to them. It's pretty cool. And I agree with you. If you don't, in the future, I think the future of wallets, and I was talking to iCoin about this. I think they're going to be customizable, whether it's the wallet holders, everything is going to be different colors. It's going to be like, it'll be interesting to see how we do it. We'll keep hardware wallets, or will warm wallets or integrated Web3 wallets be more of a popular thing as people put them on their phones and stuff. But I do think you will see the customization of wallets because people love that type of stuff. But I also agree with that customization, you're going to add everything you can to it. So the ability to onboard and offboard, the ability to buy and sell stocks, the ability to trade NFTs. Like you said, like if you're not, you're kind of leaving money out on the table for it. The only thing I hope is that is left as a feature, whereas if all you have is the email address and you want one of these new wallets, you can still get it. But if you want the entire suite of products when it comes to NFTs and stocks and all the other stuff, then maybe you have to provide a little bit more information or something. But pretty cool to see. So shout out to just saw a pretty good comment. Crypto Key, shout out to Crypto Key. Yes and no. Crypto Key, talking about the last article, said it's talking about crypto, not Bitcoin. So essentially, he's right. So I would say yes and no. Technically, yes, I get what you're saying, since he didn't mention the Bitcoin's blockchain. You're right. He just said blockchain. Technically, but also that means to say all 18,460 out of 18,465 altcoins out there, you're telling me none of them are decentralized. I would say 99.9% are not as well.
Yeah.
Could we say a full 100%? I don't know about that. And that's my only thing where the argument's at. It's like, you're shaping that. The way you're shaping the argument, again, you're shaping it from a technological point of view to a monetary point of view when that's not what it is. So I get it. When you're talking about crypto, he might have an argument there, but again, you got it all 18,465. I doubt it. It's going to be one in there somewhere.
Splitting hairs at that point. And shout out to who is that? Crypto Society. No talk on Janet Yellen hating ass admitting she doesn't know how to do her job.
Oh, Zay was going to bring it up actually.
Oh, okay, we're gonna bring it up. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't get ahead of us. We almost there.
No, I didn't say the story, but you did say before the show. You want to jump to that really quick?
Yeah, real quick. We'll jump into it. Yeah, the Treasury Secretary stated yesterday, I was wrong. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen concedes she misread threat of inflation. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Tweety Bird has came out and said that she doesn't really know how to do her job because pretty much every American I know can look at inflation being higher than it ever has been before and then say to themselves, I think this inflation is going to raise prices. And she stated here, I think I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. She stated that in March 2021, inflation posed only a small risk. 2 months later, she said she didn't anticipate inflation would be a problem. Earlier that spring, they signed a $1.9 trillion COVID-19 plan into law, providing a boost into spending that is critics blame for accelerating inflation. Again, if you print more money, money's inflated. And she said, as I mentioned, there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that have affected our economy badly that I, at the time, didn't fully understand. Well, quit then.
Oh, no, I was going to say, you should be fired.
Quit.
Let's make sure we're clear.
You didn't know that?
You're messing up the entire country's economy and you're just going to work the next day? Is that what we're talking about?
I didn't realize it would be that bad. Just because you wake up every morning in a comfortable bed, you get your tea and crumpets in your nice, beautiful home and nothing ever affects you because all you do is sit in air-conditioned rooms and have meetings with old people. That doesn't mean the rest of the economy isn't failing, ma'am. And if you didn't realize that, you should not be Treasury Secretary. Stop listening to these idiots who have these jobs based on their relationships and not on their merit. I promise you, there are a lot of smart people who have just as much merit as her, didn't get selected because she wasn't with the go along, get along game. I'm sure she had to do some stuff. But again, Tweety Bird here looks stupid. Her apology is not accepted by me. You have to know this. You can't be a pilot and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize to change the gauge or whatever, and we got into a crash. That's your job. There's nothing else you're supposed to do. So yeah, you don't get any sympathy from me, Tweety Bird.
No, me neither. And I'm glad you brought that up. And here's the thing, people, I compare it all the time. I personally, I really try to seek perfection. I know it's impossible. You're not going to get it, but I'm one of those people like, if you seek perfection, you fall short, then where you'll be at will still be greatness, right? So, and I say that to say, you brought the pilot example. I love using pilots as an example with perfection. I always use it when it comes to dating and stuff for my metaphors. And I always like, listen, if you want to fly Air Force One, people, if you want to be a pilot for the president of the United States, your pilot record has to be clean. There can never be an incident. There can never be, well, that one time when I was 22 and I just finished pilot school. I was in the military and I just finished training. And this one thing, there can be nothing wrong, people. I am telling you, to go fly for Air Force One as a pilot, there can't be anything in your record. And that has to do with a lot of other government programs. Trust me. You want to be a Navy SEAL? Medically, can't be anything wrong with your body, top to bottom. There can be nothing wrong with you. They're going to do a full check on things you never thought you would check. There can be nothing wrong with your body. I bring that point up because you can't just make this mistake early on or later on or whenever and be like, well, I'm going to go fly Air Force One now. Oh, no, the hell you not. You're not about to go fly the president with this B minus. Like, no. Well, no, it was just the one day the weather was bad and, you know, don't matter.
Don't matter.
It just doesn't matter. It's in the record. You did it. You're disqualified. Tweety Bird. So I bring the same thing up with Janet. Yeah, that's hilarious. So I bring the same thing up with Janet Yellen. It's like, are you all out of your minds? You don't get to call inflation wrong and be off by a lot. And then be like, that was my fault. I didn't. And here's the thing too. It was such an easy call. She's literally telling the American public. And this is why I keep clowning and saying that people aren't that intelligent, because of things like this we're letting ride. She should got that tar and feather, the molasses, the molasses. She literally said, I know we printed a bunch of money the last couple of years, not even including the money we're giving away to the big U. You know, we can't even say the name no more without getting a strike, essentially. Not even the money we're giving to the big U that we're laundering through the U.S. to the big U, but all this other money we printed. I did not think it was going to be inflation attached to it.
Man,
people,
have you read an economy? That's Econ 101. Have you read anything?
You ejected early and crashed your jet. That's it. You don't get two of them over here on this deployment. You got to go back home. All right. Like, people, this is madness. She called inflation wrong. Gas is $8. You don't get to call that wrong and go back to work the next day. There is no private company where you could have made this wrong call and you've been at work the next day. Hell to the no, hell to the no. What happens in NBA and NFL championships when you drop the ball? You cut. You're gone.
Gone. I got cousins in the hood that ain't never did anything with money, and they've been talking about inflation for the last 2 years. Like, the word has just disseminated so much that regular everyday people understand you print more money, my dollar's worth less. And they can see it in their day-to-day. When they're going to buy gas and going to buy food and their bills are doubling and tripling, yes, we can see it. But Janet Yellen, when's the last time she paid for a meal? She's probably been eating free and living free, and life is great. And she's so old at this point, doesn't have anything to do with age, but it's thoughts. She's so in her mind thinking, well, we wouldn't do this to ourselves. Inflation wouldn't affect. It's like, no, it's gone. It's spiraled out of control. And I don't think she's equipped to do the job. So let's start the hashtag fire Janet Yellen, and let's get it going on Twitter and get her out of there, because there's no reason she should be Treasury Secretary.
Or really quick, even worse, favorite line from the movie Casino, shout out to Sam Ace Rothstein. You're either incompetent or you're in on it. Janet Yellen, you mean to tell me you're incompetent as the United States Treasury Secretary? I don't think you're incompetent on layups. You know how to do a layup, which means you're in on it, which means you told the American people with a straight face there will be no inflation. You don't see it coming, and then we had it. That means you're in on it. It means you lied to the American people, which means you should not have a job right now. This is crazy. We are literally paying for her mansion with our taxpayer money, and she out here lying about inflation.
Dino of the day. Hey, that's Dino of the year so far.
But these are our leaders. But these are our leaders. Hey, follow the law. Follow the law. These are our leaders. Do right, boys and girls. Do right, boys and girls.
Yeah. Jeez,
hey, I'm sorry. As we used to say, I'd rather suck the cig before I follow some of these people. I'm sorry, people. I literally rather suck the cig before I follow some of these people. Yeah, it's crazy to see that. I just saw a really good comment. I'll get back to that one. 5150 Gamer Johnson, the powers to be don't like regular people to make money. They fought for years against electric cars. Now they fight against Bitcoin. Seriously, the electric car thing, during the George Bush Jr. administration, there should be people in prison. They literally weren't allowing electric vehicles to flourish and to the technology to be studied because him and his daddy own all the oil fields down in Texas. But hey, that's a whole another story. We could just do a rant all day about the BS that goes on. Last but not least, you know, you want to sell somebody in crypto, you want to pump a project, talk about Africa. Binance to launch Africa Crypto Awareness Tour as adoption ramps up. That's right. BCAT Africa 2022 aims to increase crypto awareness on the continent at a time when more Africans are turning to digital assets. What's going on with this story? Every time I see a story about trying to do something in Africa, I'm just like, here we go.
All right, here we go. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the market, we're going to fill those pot bellies with cryptocurrency, but they go to poor Africa. But again, with a 1,200% increase in received crypto volume between 2020 and 2021, the accelerated adoption of digital assets in Africa has captured the attention of multiple companies and organizations. I wonder why. Even though we've been talking about it for years, seem to capture their imagination. And of course, set to take place in June, the Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Awareness Tour. This is a Binance-powered awareness campaign that's spreading knowledge to cultivate a strong crypto community. By reaching out to university students, mostly in Nigeria, the campaign hopes to increase crypto adoption among Nigerian youth, the predominant age group in the country. Now, let me tell you this, people. I used to play basketball. In the AAU, it used to be regular teams with regular people. You pay $200, you pay on the team. What happened was Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, they all start showing up, and then they start going to these kids and handpicking them so that later the best athletes would sign with them and they would make money on the back end. To me, this is what it seems like Binance and other projects are doing. They go into Africa to figure out in Nigeria, in Kenya, who's the best right now. We got the money to support it. And then on the back end, we'll have them either work with us or work for us, or we'll have complete control as far as being the only exchange accessible. This is what I see them doing. Not saying they're not genuine in their focus, but it does seem as though that they are preying on a lot of these African countries because they don't have the upfront capital, and Binance does. The thing I've always argued is that at what point do people realize that most of the African people I've met have helped themselves? It hasn't been Binance coming in and somebody else coming in. It's been them helping themselves. Shout out to all my Nigerians. And again, I don't want to say it's disingenuous, but it just seems like it's a larger play here where you can get these kids early and then later you can use them for whatever you want to use them for.
Yeah, I mean, people at the end of the day, like don't even look at modern history. Look at world history. When has anyone, any country, helped the continent of Africa? It literally doesn't happen throughout history. Go through historical references. I'll wait. And I don't want to be, oh, they helped them this year and that. I got a political science degree too, background in history. I will find the reason why, because half the time when they were helped, it was usually because land or something was needed for an ancillary fight or something else, type of resources gathering was going on. But it's been very rare that countries have come in. Yeah, we want to help you, Africa. No, you don't need to give us nothing. We're allies. That is what an ally looks like. We're just giving money to the big U right now. We're giving billions of dollars to the big U. I don't understand why. Inflation is high. Gas is $8 in LA. Yet our taxpayer money is going to another country who don't give a fuck about the average American citizen. So when things like that are happening, red flag, people, big red flag. That's our ally though, right? I haven't seen that type of ally structure happen in the African continent historically, but I could be wrong. Highly doubt it, but I could be wrong now.
I see them showing up in Central African Republic where they actually made Bitcoin legal tender. They're not going there. They're going to where they can do blockchain, Web3, play to earn, everything but, because again, it's control.
Listen, I'm using other people's words. You really want to help these shithole countries? That's what you tell me. All of a sudden, you want to help shithole countries?
Exactly.
Look, hey, people don't like suited up brothers in the U.S. But you mean to tell me you like some sub-Saharan cloth wearing motherfucker? No, get out of here. Nah. Yeah, spray them up.
Like,
we don't believe you. You need more people. Okay, I'm not believing it.
Yeah. Charles Hoskinson over there sitting under a tree doing the same thing. So yeah, this is a good way to get people on your side from the emotional standpoint. We're going to help. All right.
Crypto Chief, great point. Reminds me of how the Europeans carved up Africa, but not companies. Oh, but now companies like Binance is trying to do the same in the crypto space. I can see that happening as well. Zay, people just said, I guess now it's just the camera, but the camera actually looks good today. But everybody's saying that your mic has returned and they love the way you sound. So that's good to go as well.
Oh yeah, and somebody requested to see the shirt. Yeah, Charlotte Bitcoin shirt. Yeah,
here it is. Is that the same people who made the Miami ones?
Yep, that's them.
Yeah. Shout out to them. And last but not least, someone else was asking about iCoin wallet earlier. How's it been going? So far it seems to be going well. Wiz Khalifa, I guess, did his Instagram, and he did his Instagram and a couple other Twitter announcements, I guess, because he's the brand ambassador. But so far, it's been pretty public. It's been on Verizon Store, and on our side of the house, I've only seen one complaint, which it looked like the basic, the reasoning behind it. Essentially, when you send and receive transactions, sometimes you do have to add a higher fee for the speed or whatever, or it will take freaking forever. So that's been the only complaint I saw. By and large, I haven't seen any. So that's a really good sign. That's a really good sign when things are all quiet with a new tech like this, and we know specifically some people who bought it to really open it up and dig into it. So far things look to be good on that end of the house. So shout out to iCoin Technology as well. You got anything else Bitcoin say for call today?
That's all for me. Next week is consensus. I'll be there. So yeah, shout out to anybody going to Austin, Texas.
There it is. Next week's consensus. Other than that, make sure you smash that like and share. Be on the lookout for new shows today, of course. We will be having the Simon family coming on here shortly next, so be on the lookout for that. Later on today, Reggie Middleton, and then tonight more shows as well. So make sure you smash that like and share. All notifications bell is on, and we will see you all later with some more crypto news. Cheers.
Cheers.